Hello, it is me, Mary Samantha. I am here again with another public reading for Shauna. This is Shauna's reading, and she would like to know more about her blocks. She expressed that she feels blocked in some ways in her life in multiple areas, including development of her own psychic skills, things about trying to save money, stuff like that. So I consulted with the spirits this morning, and I was drawn to one deck that I use quite often, which is the Modern Witch Tarot. But two decks I haven't used in a while came out, and so the Mystical Dream Tarot. This deck is interesting because it uses a different types of symbolism than some of the traditional tarot. So I'm curious to see what Spirit's going to utilize from those cards to answer your question, because it's a more of a kind of a Freudian and psychological dream interpretation tarot than more of a traditional like Rider-Waite. And also an oracle deck came forward that really wanted to speak. There's some messages in here from the Sacred Earth Oracle as well. As I read, I use my psychic, empathic, intuitive, mediumship abilities. I tick the boxes on many of the Claire skills. So I will utilize whatever comes forward. I don't limit myself based upon whether I'm going to do an intuitive or a psychic or a medium reading. I just open up the Pandora's box of my skills and see what wants to come forward and how Spirit wants to utilize that for you in your reading. In tapping into your energy before your reading, it was pressing on me all morning that it had to be done today. And there's already cards that have shown up here. I didn't even shuffle the deck yet. Just holding it. Okay. What would you like me to speak to first for Shauna? First of all, I want to express to Spirit, Mother, Father, God, angels, ancestors, Spirit guides, guardians, celestial and terrestrial family, with benevolence and the highest good to step forward, to communicate with me, through me, for Shauna, regarding her query. Please excuse any background noise. We have remodeling going on in the unit next to me, so. Yeah. Okay, so first thing coming forward for you, Shauna, you are an earth angel for sure. You got this card of unity from the oracle deck, but it came out suspended. Suspended energies, in the way that I read them, means they're, instead of a flow of energy upright, there is a suspension of flow. That's your block. The block right now is, and I can only say it the way it's coming forward, so please forgive me if I seem frank. But I have this sense of you don't really want to be here. Like, there feels to me like a sense of, like I feel it in my stomach. Like a deep sorrow for the planet. Like just feeling an overwhelm of there's so much to do and how do I best serve, because it's just overwhelming. That sense of like, like I feel you have multiple skills, multiple talents, you're very well equipped with so many things and so many things pulling at you that you don't know where to begin. It isn't that the block isn't so much that there's something in your way as much as you're in your way. N'est-ce pas? I say that. So I think you have a spirit guide or somebody who, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you have some French or something in your lineage, but that kind of just popped out. I don't know why. Okay. But yeah, so the angels, n'est-ce pas? Just this love for humanity and for the planet. Like, I feel the growing things and the animals, and it's just, there's just so much, you know, like I could do so much, but where do I begin, and what's going to be the best use of my time? Because there's a lot of will. This orange bright color is showing me that there's a lot of passion. You know, the block isn't an apathy. It isn't a lack of interest. It's so many interests, perhaps, that you don't know what the best way to channel it would be, perhaps. And the two cards that came out with this are context and core. So what this is telling me is that this block of not really knowing where to begin is coming from the sense of deep down inside you, at the core of your essence. You want what you're doing to have practical application. Like doing just for the sake of doing, being flighty or, you know, you don't want that. You want whatever effort you're putting out there, because it's meaningful to you. And you want to put it out there in a way that it's going to be practical. It's going to have practical use. It's really genuinely going to help. It needs to be in the context of your heart, you know. I get this sense of, I'm seeing this dragonfly over her heart, just as there's a flame over her heart. And the context to me in how Spirit is showing this to me is that at a heart level, what you're doing needs to be meaningful. And that, have you ever noticed a dragonfly, the way they move? They almost seem to like dart in and out of space and hover, and then they're over here, and they're strange the way that they fly, right? And that's the feeling that I'm getting about where you're focusing your intention. You know, you're trying to like keep your eye on a moving target. Whereas here, her eyes are closed. She's feeling it from inside her. So like Spirit right now just said, there's no wrong answer. Pick something. Do you want to develop your psychic skills? Pick that. Work in that direction. You'll be successful at it. Do that for a time. And then when you feel you have accomplished all that you can in that area, and it's no longer really serving yourself, especially, then move over here and do something else. Like this energy is, I don't know if you get dragonflies around you quite often as a totem or a spirit messenger, but yeah, it's a sense of going from one thing to the next. That energy that you kind of think is a block is just not really a block. It's just sort of a filter for your reality. So you don't waste too much time in any one thing when you're not getting reciprocated for what you're putting out, because it means something to you and it needs to mean something to you. And when it doesn't mean anything to you, that means it's time to leave. Does that make sense? That's just the first 3 cards in this reading. That's what that deck wanted to say. So yeah, at the heart of these blocks, it is unity. You're very connected to this planet. You care deeply at the core, but what you do needs to have meaning to you. And when it doesn't have meaning anymore, you want to move on to the next thing. And you've been looking at that as though there's something wrong with you. As if that's somehow bad, but it's not. It's just the energy in which, you know, you don't want to continue to, what do they say, flog a dead horse. I think that's terrible imagery. But, you know, that type of a thing, you know, you don't want to beat your head against a wall when what you're doing isn't going to serve yourself and a higher purpose simultaneously. Because that angelic energy, earth angel people, tend to find their satisfaction and fulfillment in the ways they can help others. But the problem with that is that can also lead to codependency, because we end up giving so much of ourselves away that we don't get an equal and reciprocal exchange of energy in return. So I'm going to move to the tarot deck here, the Mystical Dream Tarot, and see what Spirit has to say. So, with this understanding, please elaborate. So what do we do with this? What does Shauna do with this? Okay, right away. Ooh, that's a very interesting card. Now I see. You got the Lord of Wands. Now, I don't read this deck reversed because there's so much in the cards. I'll take note of it if it comes out, but I will read it how I feel it. Period. I don't care if it's upside down, sideways, or inside out. I will read it how I feel it. You have Ganesh. Now, Ganesh is the Hindu god who's the remover of obstacles. And you have the serpent below Ganesh. This is sort of like, to me, I'm getting a sense of Maya and illusions, and also of, you know, snakes are cold-blooded creatures. They're not going to move unless they are warmed. You know, Kundalini even is, it's a rising of energy. It's a warmth. It's a heat. It's a scintillating movement up the spine of passion and desire and will, right? It's creative force. Where, you know, the serpent, being a cold-blooded creature, it's not motivated to move when it's cold. Even if there's prey right there in front of it, you see that little mouse? The serpent is just not interested. You know, it's breathing this fire, it looks like, and it's almost an icy fire in a way, around Ganesh, who's the remover of obstacles. And this being the Lord of Wands, what's really interesting, he's got an airplane in his lap. So I'm seeing this as and a scythe in his hand. Yeah, the serpent is just this lack of motivation to go after what you want. And Ganesh comes in with this scythe to remove these obstacles. It would mean you're having to move away from the stagnation. I am getting this sense, like, I know that the answer, what do we do with this, is you need to do, it's your free will. What you will and what you will not do. Being so fixated on the obstacle that you're not seeing the solution, going after what you want, what's going to nourish you, what feeds you, sustains you, makes you warm, makes you passionate. You know, Ganesh is a remover of obstacles. And this plane is telling me that there's movement that you need to take. You need to get away from something or someone or a situation that's really not doing it for you. That, and it's not a mental movement. It's not an emotional movement. It's an act of will. It's telling the universe, you know what, I will not do this anymore. And then an action that goes with it. Fire, it's action. You have to put an action behind it. It's a motivation. It might actually mean you need to travel, or you need to get away. You need to move from a location, or from a job. And you know this. I already know you know this. Spirit's telling me you already know what I'm talking about. You've just been, I don't know, rationalizing yourself in and out of it. Our mind is so good at that, isn't it? It rationalizes in and out of something 100 times a day. Okay, thank you. Again, yes. All right. You have this Lady of Wands. Again, Lord and Lady of Wands. You got them both. Should I stay or should I go now? Right. She needs to move herself into a position where she can be at peace, where she can be at one, where she can cultivate her inner fire in her core. Eyes closed again, not looking outside herself to see everything that needs to be done and all the people that want what she has to give and all the possibilities of all the things I could be doing, should be doing. But now just moving yourself out of that active, distractive place, this dragonfly thing, you know, and taking the power of that dragonfly medicine that you carry and internalizing it inside yourself. Moving into that and feeling the fire of what that is that motivates you, that gives you that joy and that passion. Sorry, my nails are all messed up, but I work for a living. So I have a day job. Yeah, you're finding you have such a strong will. I feel this in here, and it's not. It isn't a lack of motivation or apathy. You've got it. You just don't know where to put it, where it's going to actually bear some fruit. You know. Yeah, where you're going to find fulfillment. Now, this is an interesting card because it almost looks like the Two of Cups, but it's not. It's actually the Ace of Cups, which is about fulfillment, as within, so without. As you find your inner fulfillment, it's finding this. I'm seeing this Lord and Lady of Wands, your active and your passive will, what I will do, what I will not do. Coming into this place of a new beginning in balancing those aspects of yourself. By going inside yourself and deciding, do I feel this? Do I feel this? Do I want to do this? Yeah, absolutely finding a balance here about doing what brings you peace, joy, and using that barometer that you have, this dragonfly sort of energy about you to move so succinctly in that way, to trust yourself really, which is so interesting because when I first picked up this deck this morning and I was meditating on it, the first card that came out, let me see if I can find it. I can't find it at the moment, so I'll just, oh, there it is. The first one that came out was Ma'at. Now, Ma'at is truth. She is the Egyptian goddess of truth. I have a very deep relationship with this archetype, this goddess of Ma'at. And her story, her energy and archetype is one of when we come to the end of our life and we pass from this world, we walk into the halls of Amenti to be judged, or she reaches into your chest, takes your heart out and puts it on her scales, and then she balances it with the feather of truth, the ostrich feather that she wears on her head, and she puts the feather on one side and your heart on the other, and to see if they balance, and if your heart is heavier than the feather of truth, then she feeds your heart back to the Soek, and you go back into reincarnation until you can learn to go through your life and come out of it at the end with a light heart, to not let the weight of this world and all of the things in it that you feel you need to take care of weigh you down and make you feel like, I don't know what to do. I'm suspended because I can't do anything because there's all so much to do. It's like trying to clean the house. And you're like, where do I even begin? Right? Yeah. Like, I just cleaned this place. Right? And you're like, overwhelm, spiritual overwhelm. So Ma'at is about coming to that place in yourself of accepting that there's only so much you can do. You're going to need to be able to take the opportunity presented, if you choose to, because it's free will, to allow yourself to experience all the things that you experience in this world and still come out of it with a light heart, a heart that has not been made heavy by this world. This world is a very challenging place. Incarnating here is not for sissies. I'll tell you that. You know, serious badasses have to come here and incarnate and still come out the other side being a light-hearted soul. I mean, I cannot impress upon people enough, especially the people that I find come to me wanting to develop their psychic skills, develop their spirituality. And I'm like, wow, you're a badass already just for wanting to do that. It's so much easier if you just put your head down and live according to the rules of this world. And then, you know, you'll be successful. You know, if you are greedy, indulge in the 7 deadly sins, basically, greed, lust, avarice, pride. You go down that road, you're going to do great here. Right? That's why so many successful people can end up being such terrible people too, right? Seem like they have no conscience or accountability. It's like being in hell in a way, and the way out is through. To bring heaven down to earth. To bring this beautiful, spiritual, angelic self of yours into this hurting, broken. It's not broken. It's functioning as it's supposed to, basically. But it's not functioning the way we think it ought. The purpose is karma, for us to continue to build upon our soul's knowledge and our spiritual strength, and to continue to evolve and grow on a multidimensional stream of existence, And so learning to go through all of this and come out the other side with a light heart is not an easy task. It's hard to be here and be tuned in to this world and not feel it, especially as an empath. If you have empathic skills, psychic skills, it can be very hard to be here. You can feel saturated by the emotion, inundated with the mental static, the worry, the anxiety. I mean, there's a reason why so many healers have to, heal themselves first. It's just how it is, You can't really teach what you don't have any experience of, right? So Ma'at coming up this morning, connecting to this idea of truth, it's seeking that balance, balancing out this scale, you know, the masculine, the feminine, the giving, the receiving, the doing, and the passivity. You know, having both of those things in balance, and a new beginning in that, so that way you can have a sense of clarity and balance of how you want to go into the world, with your will, and find the things that at your core, you know, are going to apply to you, you know, what you care about, what you're passionate about. Okay. Yeah, again, balance. In the earthly world, you have this Two of Pentacles. You know, this is telling me that you absolutely, yeah, see, it's interesting for a Two of Pentacles, isn't it? Usually it's somebody juggling two coins, where this is more of the earth. You know, it's the tree. And then there is this sort of fire coming out from this tree, this woman that's almost in suspension. So, you know, when I see this card, it tells me that there's a surrendering to yourself that you need to permit, I guess, if you're brave enough to do it, and to surrender to your own nature. That's going to help you balance these things out. The tree is very solid. It might be in all of this emotional, watery stuff and everything, but in the core of the tree is fire. You know, it's a living being. It too has its sense of purpose. And that's what you're needing to find. But to do that, you have to first surrender some of the control of feeling like it's all about doing this. Because it isn't all about doing this, it's about beingness. You're a human being, not a human doing. Using your life force well in a way that will bring you fulfillment. I'm listening. Yeah. The blocks are mental, you know, it's that's a weird thing to say. I don't know. All right, sure, I'll say it. You can't make a cake without breaking a few eggs, or make an omelet or something without breaking some eggs. The sense of, I'm feeling this like sense of not wanting to do things wrong. You know, like being kind of caught up in here of, I'm getting a strong male presence, a father type figure perhaps, or else a very controlling husband type figure, an authority figure, masculine. And some things that have been said about said to you, that are putting you all up in your head and making you feel like I don't know, the word frivolous is coming to mind. I don't know if someone said that to you. But you're not. You're so not. You care about things. I don't know you, but I have a feeling like you care about the animals, the earth. You know, wanting to do things that help bring balance. This is a 6. This is a number of reciprocity and connection to all things. A communion with nature and with your existence that's meaningful to you. And so I just get this feeling that you need to cut yourself away from these mental things that you've been told that really, they're not true. Because you've got mind. This is truth. Yeah. Three of Swords, or Three of Wands, I'm sorry, Three of Wands. Interesting image for Three of Wands, wouldn't you say? Usually it's a person standing with Three of Wands looking out and having to make a decision. This one is showing a very imposing, larger-than-life figure standing before this masculine and feminine presence with a giant bug, a giant scarab, and blocking a path. There's rocks, there's a tree that's fallen, and the gigantic spectral figure, a huge bug, scarab representing everlasting life, blocking the path of these couples and saying, you know, you can go no further. They're Gandalfing this couple here. Thou shalt not pass, right? And again, Wands is an act of will. You have to really want it. You have to be willing to come hand in hand with your doingness and your beingness into balance to decide for yourself which way you want to go. Which way do you want to go? Are you going to continue to be blocked by these spectral energies that you think are so much bigger, perhaps? But your gift is actually what's bigger. Oop, that one flew right out of the deck. Yeah. Get this Nine of Swords. Yeah, I'm getting this sense that you've been told some things that have really done a number on you mentally. But those things are not true. Those things are illusions. You see the moon in the background there? That's an illusion. She's holding on to these words. She's holding on to those words, and she can choose to let them go. So you got the Magician card. Yeah. This is the Master of Secrets. This person has everything on the table there. This card is a very good card. It's telling you that, you know, it's the card of, it's number one. Do you see the lightning bolt coming in from the divine onto this paper of words? This is a divine message, a divine communication coming into you. You have air, fire, water, and earth on this table, and the Magician can manifest with all of them. But this divine communication, I'm even getting a sense, is like, you know, the messages you listen to, you need to be selective because you're the magician. You use those messages to create your world. So if you're listening to, you know, the big floating head, you know, that's telling you these things that make you feel like you can't act and you're like stuck inside and being, you know, in this space. You gotta listen to your own messages, listen to your own divine communication, those gifts that you have, you know, utilizing them again, accepting who you are in the way, in the energy that you have, and that it serves a purpose. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're, you know, that's the way you're supposed to operate because you chose to be here and as you, with these gifts, these skills, these sensitivities, these interests, these talents, these inclinations. You know, you selected this personality to fuel your soul to do great work here. So being able to trust yourself, keep getting that, Maude, trust yourself that you do have an ability to really remove this blockage, but it's not something that can be removed for you. It's a leveling up. You don't want me to move to this deck. So I'm feeling a sensation back here. Listening. The last time you tried to step out and do something, you were told you were foolish, and it undermined your strength. Yeah. The Fool and the Strength card reversed. I'm feeling, this is the King of Pentacles, which normally is a pretty good card, but the feeling I'm getting off of this is not quite so pleasant. I'm getting this stubborn, sort of disinterested to your situation. Sort of a told you so. And feeling the stabbing in the back. So I'm going, told you so. Even though I kind of get a feeling that this person was supposed to have your back. So perhaps part of this trust thing, this block, is feeling that if you step out and just try to follow your own calling, you'll be making yourself vulnerable. And you might have to be dealing with the disdain of a certain person. I keep getting a strong masculine energy. And that doesn't necessarily mean male. It could just be someone with strong masculine energy. Yeah. I was just asking Spirit, like, what's the motivation? Like, what could you do to be more, have like a barometer, like a compass, in which way to kind of feel your way. And yeah, see, boy. So I'm getting the sense that, you know, this is your karma that you're here to really work with, is learning how to find your thing. Go in to yourself, find your thing that you want to do, go that way, in that direction. Even if you don't make that destination, going in that direction is the point, because that movement is what will remove these obstacles for you. It's not about results in this tangible world as much as it's about the wealth that you, of fulfillment that you receive by making your own wishes come true. You have this Nine of Cups. She is sitting there with her arms crossed and saying, these are my 9 cups. I got 9 cups. Can't have my cups. These are my 9 cups. All these things, these are all different things that make up me, and I'm unapologetic about it. And that wish fulfillment, this karma of you being able to find this wish fulfillment and avoid these things, and that's the sense of feeling foolish in the world by following your trusting compulsion, I guess. It brings you into relationship with people like you. But you can't be with people like you if you're not being like you. If you're being the person other people want you to be, you're not going to find those connections that you need to really support you in being the way that you want to be. There's very much about cutting away, moving, and getting away from those things that are undermining and are indifferent to what's important to you. And these are major arcana cards. So these are telling me, with the Strength and the Fool here, that this is a karma that you're trying to learn in this lifetime. That these blocks, these aren't just like some sort of a personality issue or a lack of motivation, or there's something about you gotta fix. It's about looking at the bigger karmic picture and realize that this is the challenge that's before you to help you really mature spiritually and grow stronger, so that way you can become someone who can act when you feel some motivation to act, and can sit back and be like, you know what, I don't think that's for me. I will not. And people can look at you and go, why are you doing that? Why aren't you doing it? You know, like you don't have to answer those questions. You just have to intrinsically know what's for you and go that direction. You know, even if like you know, like, yeah, again, you got the Magician again with another deck. This is saying the same thing. Yes, you have the ability to manifest your dreams, make your dreams come true, to do all the things that you want to do. But you have to let go of doing the things you don't want to do. To stop spending your energy on things that leave you cold and unmotivated. Following that warmth, that inner fire that will help you to wrap that around the earth, you know, to do the things you love and embrace your incarnation here. You know, you're not here to please a bunch of asshats, right? You're not here for that kind of douchebaggery. Excuse my French. Again, there's the French thing. So, yeah, you don't have to concern yourself with that. You're here for bigger, better things. You're here for full wish fulfillment and finding those people that are going to celebrate you, not just support you, but celebrate you in being this unique you that you are. It takes incredible courage and internal strength to be willing to be a fool for, you know, our passions and what motivates us. You know, people who are cowards will turn around and look at you and be like, oh, you're so frivolous, that's so silly, what a waste, or whatever. But those are cowards. Those are people too concerned about what other people think to be able to follow their passion or even their compulsion at the time. Because sometimes those little compulsions, you know, like, why the hell did I want to learn how to speak Japanese all of a sudden? I don't know. But, you know, a year and a half later, you know, wakarimasu? You know, I'm learning. You know, maybe I will get to utilize it someday in a way that I'll go, oh, that's what that was about, right? I call those the cosmic breadcrumbs. Sometimes these compulsions that come in and inspire us to be like, oh, you know, I think I need to go learn how to do martial arts or something. It's just the carrot that's dangled in front of us to motivate us, to get us to move towards something. It doesn't necessarily mean we end up with that thing or meeting that goal, but it gets us moving in the right direction. Yeah. I got the 8 and the 5 of Wands here. So again, energy's starting to draw back now, but this is just telling me that, oh, and look, it was 4-4, so 8. Yeah. Yeah, it's this difference between, you know, cooperation and celebration with like-minded individuals who raise their cup to you, or continuing to be in a state of competition or combativeness with individuals that are constantly making you have to prove yourself. And getting on your Harley and getting the heck out of Dodge, right? You're just like, I'm out. Oh, look, it's 4448 on the video thing. So yeah, this is swift movement, right? Yeah. So I think once you choose to make this decision, then the energies will start moving quickly for you, and you'll start seeing these obstacles just being removed. Yeah. Well, that's what I've got for you. Yeah. And I hope that helps. Please let me know if this resonated with you, or if you'd like any further clarity on anything that I've said here. I'm gonna have to probably rewatch this video myself just so I know what I said, because sometimes things come through that aren't really me. You know, I'm just channeling stuff, not really trying to figure out what to say. Okay, well, I hope, Shauna, that this reading is what you needed to hear. So thank you again so much for letting me read for you publicly. And I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. If you like a further reading at any time, or want to pass my information on to your friends, let me just say digitaldelphioracle.com, my website. Of course, you can reach me here on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. All right? Okay, thanks so much.